Assalamualaikum, my dear family. I hope you all are fine and enjoying good health. Today's video is going to be on GCSE English AQA language descriptive writing. And in this descriptive writing, we are going to discuss. It is basically, paper one, question number five, and it is words 40 marks, right? Raja, you can see that it is broken down into two assessment objectives. So you can
Hmm.
see 25 marks are for, when you communicate clearly, effectively, and imaginatively, selecting and adapting tone, style, and register, okay, for different forms, purpose, and audience. So these are the marks division which they are telling us. We have to organize information and ideas using structural and grammatical features to support, coherence. Second thing is that which I focus always on, that use a range of vocabulary and sentence structures for clarity, purpose, and effect with accurate spelling and punctuation. And no doubt your spellings and your spellings are quite correct. You always write in a correct spellings. Okay,
Hmm.
then moving on towards the tone. Tone should be, according to the topic. All right, because descriptive writing don't have the professional tone, right?
Hmm.
So we have to keep the tone accordingly, whatever the topic is. All right, and I'm scrolling down. Use vocabulary which is useful to the reader. Like, for example, describing something as brilliant or amazing is not descriptive. All right, it's not descriptive. You have to describe in the sensory images. You have to use the sensory image. You can use amazing word, but only when you are appreciating something. Okay,
Hmm.
for example, you could use a simile to create associations about size or color. It was like that. You can also use simile to do it. As I told you, metaphor, simile, personifications are quite important when we are describing the objects. For example, you do not need to describe every inch of a person or scene bit by bit, but instead focus on key features. So when they're saying person, we have to, embed the characters in descriptive writing. That is going to make
Yeah.
the descriptive writing strong enough. Okay. So the most important thing in descriptive writing is that you have to plan your writing in an order which moves through the scene. That what are you going to, start from? All right. How are you going to come in the middle? What is going to be the ending? You have to develop a character interaction. All right. When describing people, focus on relevant details only. You could focus on their
Yeah.
body language or movements, how they, their shouts and shrieks, as I told you, how were they feeling? What were they doing? The effective
Yeah.
sounds. So, for example, the people could be wearing colorful hats, or by describing the
Hmm.
hats, it is not necessary to describe the coats or shoes or trousers as well, but just, a part of it, a bit of it. Focus on
Yeah.
using a range of interesting vocabulary words like amazing do not accurately describe places. Include descriptive detail using a range of sensory language. Like sensory details are all those which you can see, hear, touch, smell. All right, the sight, texture, sound. These all.
Yeah.
Like see, what were you seeing in that place? Hear what you heard. You mentioned about the sounds you heard. Smell
Yeah.
what was the aura inside, and then feel what were you feeling. It was the ghost. What were you feeling like that? The evil spirits. So write with technical accuracy, full stops, commas. You did it correct. Sentence length should be short and catchy. Somewhere, if it's required, you can increase the sentence like to complex sentences too. Spellings and grammars, should be on point.
Yeah.
Okay. Then moving on to the question. Okay, below is an example of the type of descriptive writing you may be asked to write in. Question number five. This is taken from Language Paper One, June 2009. So this task you're going to do it, Raja, in today's. But I'm also going to show you, the sample of it too. Okay. Describe a
Yeah.
marketplace as suggested by this picture. This is a marketplace. You can see it clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have seen it. This task asks you to describe a marketplace as suggested by the picture. This means you are required to write a formal description using the ideas in the image as your stimulus. Because why formal? Because we need to give the information to the audiences that what is happening into it. And what you can see, the
Hmm.
possible thing into it, the characters who are moving inside it, and the people, what are they doing? What are the activities they are performing? And what
Yeah.
tasks are they involved in. You can also so show the colors, what are the things
Hmm.
hanging, the lightnings, and each and everything, the ladies, how they are shopping in this modern era. They are coming to the vegetable shop. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is each and every detail you're going to mention, and then it does not mean you have to describe the picture in as much intricate detail as possible over 5 or 6 paragraphs. The most successful answers consider the scene in real life. You have to connect it to the real life, because if you
Hmm.
went to the vegetable shop, you might have a picture in your mind that how you need to do it. Add your
Hmm.
own sensory descriptions. This is an exam tip as suggested by the picture. For example, you can describe imagined movements and actions of people in the scene. So, you can also say what are they doing, and using interesting verbs and adverbs. If I'll ask you to give me any example, so what will you do it? Interesting verbs by, telling me that
G.
if you are explaining the actions of the people, so how can you explain the actions, which will include
Um,
like the lady in the white, what was she doing? What she holding? She's
she's looking around for the things she needs. She's
exactly.
holding her bag.
Hmm. Exactly.
Um, yeah,
Hmm. And she's communicating with the person, maybe to maybe she's just negotiating for the prices.
yeah,
Maybe she's buying some vegetables which are quite high priced, and she's negotiating for that. All right. So you can also use kind of
yeah,
verbs which will connect to the real life things, and by using language techniques such as personification and onomatopoeia, the sounds. Um, okay, the sounds, how you can say that, oh, she said, oh, the price is quite high. Why have you
yeah,
given me this price? This is not the actual price which you're telling. The sounds, you can also embed the expressions. She said, she uttered this. Okay. So this is something,
yeah.
going to create a high leveled written piece of structure.
Hmm.
All right. Then, there are descriptive writing forms as well. Panor- um, Panoramic, which broadly describes the scene, introduce the time and atmosphere. In the market example, this could include color and how tightly packed everything is. When you go
Hmm.
zoom, focus your lens in one segment of the image. Choose
Yeah.
smaller, less obvious details. In the market example, this could be the butcher on the right cutting into the animal carcass. All right, here is the butcher.
G.
You can see that, huh? So
Yeah.
minute it's a zoom. You need to do this. When you emphasize on the single line, so emphasize the key feeling of your description in one line. In the market example, this could involve smell. Okay. So if you'll,
Yeah.
take the shift. So focus your lens on another segment of the image. If you started in the foreground, then move to something in the background. In the market example, this could be the lady dressed in dark colors at the back, grasping a bag, right?
G.
So when we keep on doing this shift, we say this could be the lady with her back to you in the middle of the picture. And again, panoramic expression. When how has it changed the time, atmosphere, and the mood? In the market example, you could change the time of the scene from early morning to mid afternoon. All right, so this is all up
Yeah.
to you because it's of 40 marks, so you need to describe and explain in detail.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep using sensory language throughout, but adjust the focus and perspective as your paragraph develops. Okay. Now, I told you each and every detail, and I'm scrolling through it. You can also, give a reading to it because the session is
Yeah.
recorded, and you can see it. And personification is when you are personifying the market as an animal which roars, suggests something loud and intimidating. When you are giving animals and the things the comparison with the human beings. All right.
Hmm.
You're giving comparison when you are giving life to the things as well. It means that you're
Yeah.
personifying things.
Yeah.
So the market is something which you are saying that the it's a market as an animal which roars. So it means that you're
Yeah.
personifying. And similarly, the comparison of the people's movements with soldiers going to battle. It seems like the soldiers going to battle every time there are different you can say customers and people are dealing with so you can explain the whole day by using these similes.
Yeah.
Okay, this was all about it. And then the structural features and techniques, which are very important. I always say it, but now I'm explaining you with detail. Ambitious vocabulary, the use of deafening chaos is a sophisticated description which effectively crafts a mood. It was a deafening chaos, which is, keep on, you can say, the butcher in a struggled manner, keep on engaging the butcher and the market man, the man who is selling the vegetable, the seller of the vegetable. He is all the time engrossed in, you can say, negotiating for the prices with the people. So you can also
Mm.
compare that by using the ambitious vocabulary. Sounds of the market are developed with detail. The verbs gelled and argued successfully create a mood. And then the adverb angrily, somebody who came at the market, and the person who is selling the things, he's not attending the customer, but it's quite hot outside that the customer is not waiting even for a single minute. Then he angrily responded, please give me the vegetables as soon as possible. I don't have much time. So,
Mm.
so adjectives are such as frustrated and annoyed emphasize the mood. So this is what you can do. All right. And
Yeah.
moving on to short sentence and listing, this is also quite important. Now, Rija, we're going to read this. I want you to give a reading to it so you can get a better picture and you'll get an idea that how we need to, transform it and how we need to write it. And this will, help you a lot. So,
Okay.
okay, start it.
The market. The market roared with rage, for it now was awake from its peaceful slumber. The shops were stuffed and vendors made the street extremely narrow, forcing people to walk in a single file like soldiers go into battle. The deafening chaos in the market made ears split as though standing under a giant speaker.
Hmm.
Ven- Vendors yelled prices and frustrated housewives angrily argued with the annoyed shopkeepers. Shops of all different species stood on either
Species.
side of the street obediently.
Hmm.
None of the none of them had doors. The shopkeepers knew very well that the doors would not last long against the might, impatience and violence of the customers. A large pink a, a large pink animal carcass hung by a
Carcass.
hook.
Hmm.
Carcass hung by a hook, whilst the butcher sawed and hacked at the flesh, sweat already dripping from his brow. Occasionally, he would swat at the flies hovering around the meat with his blade, slicing through the air with a flash of steel. Even though the meat was fresh, the faint stench of death hung like the carcasses themselves from the hooks. It seems as though
Okay, let
it
me just
seems
scroll down.
yeah,
Okay.
it seems as though all of the smells in the world had come to a reunion. Sweaty buyers skillfully wove their way through the crush by locating minute gaps between people and squeezing through. Pickpockets hopped like rabbits in a carrot field, munching the purses out of many pockets of innocent buyers, too busy too busy bargaining.
Hmm.
Experienced visitors wore tight pants for the same reason, and a helpless woman fumbled through the scores of bags she carried and tried to tick on a list with a pen clenched between her teeth. As the sun warmed, the stuffy, stinking air filled with sweat and rotting fish intensified. No air freshener could have defeated the sour, rancid smell which ruled over the cramped stalls. Only a single woman in a pristine white dress seemed immune from the stench. As she wove, as she wove her way through the crowd, her perfume lingered and stretched its fingers tentatively into the
Tentatively.
atmosphere, tentatively into the atmosphere, only to be swiftly overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. All right. So, and now this is the ending.
G. As the sun, wait, oh, I read that. As the afternoon flamed the market, and exhaustion and breath breathlessness silently took over the first time visitors, but the everyday buyers proudly held on against the torture and kept shopping. The deafening chaos in the market made ears split as though standing under a giant speaker. Vendors yelled prices and frustrated housewives angrily argued with the annoyed shopkeepers.
Now, Rija, did you get an idea that how we need to write and what are the examiner's comments under it? You can now see
Yeah.
it. After writing this such, solid piece of writing, the examiner comment on it that it's convincing and compelling communication, a range of complex ideas assuredly matched to purpose and audience, sustained crafting and ambitious vocabulary used accurately, a range of appropriate sentence forms with demarcation consistently secure, continuously in each line, she's trying to, creating that picture which a person cannot even stop reading, and
Hmm.
consistently accurate, a range of punctuation and linguistic devices are accurately applied. Writing is
Yeah.
imaginative, assured, and compelling. So I have loved reading the whole scenario. The way you can also write it in the form of paragraphs like this. Four paragraphs, give a gap and one line, and then you can do this. This is the
Yeah.
actual way of creating this. It's a level 4 response. So it's basically a level 4 response, and still, it's quite good that you can even create this kind of experiment. The examiner comments are going to be, outstanding for this. So this was all from my side today, and I am going to assign you this task. I would want you to take a picture, and I'm also sending the picture in the group. Now, I
Yeah.
would like you to create a picture of it and do this question, attempt it, and then I wanted
Hmm.
to see that how you do it. All right, now you got an idea, you
Okay.
got a gist of how to do it. Actually, I'm sharing the picture. Now, please just attempt it and send it to me. Take time. We will be definitely connected, the next week,
Yeah.
because picture description needs, a time to describe all the intricacies which they have asked us to. Okay. Okay, just a minute. This was all from my side. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I would want you to please like, subscribe, and comment under this video. If you want more videos like that, you have to mention in the comment section below. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Allah Hafiz.